So many times we hear about the talk of our grid being unstable. Maybe bad weather's coming through. I know in the South we deal with bad weather. It knocks out the grid for maybe a few hours, maybe a few days, even up to a few weeks if it's a hurricane season. So when we talk about that, what are ways that we can protect our family to make sure that we can cook, heat, or purify our water? It's all about fire, energy, off-grid cooking. Well, today we're talking about that. We're going to talk about 5 ways that you need to make sure you can heat, cook, and purify when there is no grid. Let's jump into it today. It's going to be a great video, and it starts right now. Hey guys, welcome to the video today. We are always so thankful for you coming on, clicking on our videos, and hopefully our videos are informative, helps you gain wisdom and figure out what's best for you and your family. If you're new to the Max, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, that's okay, but let us know what you think about the content. Our goal is to build a sustainable, prepared life on our homestead, and we want to walk you through the same steps. So today's video is going to be a good one. We're going to talk about 5 ways that you can heat, purify, or cook when it comes to not having a grid, because our grid is volatile. The more we put on our grid, the more it's going to become more volatile. Number 1 would be a fireplace. Of course, that's pretty easy. I knew when we built our house, actually people thought it was crazy that we were putting a true wood burning fireplace in. So if you have a potbelly stove or a wood burning fireplace in your house, if you have an older home, a lot of those just come with it. I think it's a great thing. Do not change that out for some gas logs to make it easier on yourself. Having a fireplace is so beneficial because not only can you provide heat for your home when the grid is down, especially when it's winter or cold outside. Now right now we're talking about it being cold outside, and it's 102 here in Mississippi with about 100% humidity. So it's hot. So we don't want to talk about that. But the truth is, this is the time that you should be cutting up firewood, buying firewood, or making sure you have a good amount of firewood put up, because this is how, when you cut it, it's green and it needs to season, so it will build a better fire and a bigger quality fire. When it comes to fireplaces, you can use cast iron, you can use Dutch ovens, but it allows you to be able to cook right over the fire, heat your home, and also boil water. That is a game changer when it comes to not having a grid. A fireplace would be key. If you don't have a fireplace, look at investing in a potbelly stove. Look at some kind of wood fire stove that you can put in your homes. This has been a big no-no in a lot of areas, but you need to go ahead and buy it or build it, put it in right now before it becomes even more controversial, which I think that's crazy that we're talking about a fireplace being controversial. But we need to make sure that we have a fireplace. And here's the benefit. We not only have an inside fireplace, we talked about redundancy, we have a little outside fireplace too. Now what can we do? We can cook on it outside. Again, we're not worried about the smoke. We can cook on it outside. If it is hot inside and we don't want to add another layer of heat inside, but we're needing to heat our food or process our food or boil water, we could do it outside. You can look online and find little small fireplaces that you can personally build. Very easy. Hopefully you have a fireplace. If you don't, look at a wood fire burning stove. It's a game changer when you talk about your home and being off grid and being sustainable. Before we finish our list, we always talk about saving money. Let's jump into the sponsor of today's video, Mint Mobile. Have you ever thought, why in the world am I paying this much to simply have a phone? I think my bill goes up and up and up every month. So let's talk about today's sponsor, Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless at a great deal, as low as $15 a month. And you do not have to sacrifice your service. It's using the same towers as every other big provider. They're built on the nation's biggest wireless service, and they're able to keep their prices low because they sell directly to you. They don't need the box stores or the retail stores. So ask yourself, why should we pay more for the same service that we can get from Mint Mobile? You can click on the link in the description or check out this QR code right here on the screen. It will link you straight to their website, and now you're getting the best quality service at the lowest price. Mint also offers family plans that you can build your own plan, make it really affordable for you and your family. Again, we're trying to save money here, folks, in this crazy economy. Mint Mobile can help when it comes to your cell phone service. Switching to Mint Mobile is super easy. Thanks to their digital eSIM cards, it allows you to do it with just a click of the button. So say for instance you can't activate immediately with an eSIM card, they will send a SIM card directly to you. It literally only takes about 15 minutes to switch to Mint Mobile. And right now we have a special limited offer with Mint Mobile just to the people that watch our vlogs, 50% off. Check them out with the link in the description or the QR code. get started. 15 minutes could save you a lot of money. We thank Mint Mobile for sponsoring this video. Now back to the vlog. All right, back to the list. Number 2 is a propane stove. Now this is another thing that's been almost outlawed in a lot of bigger cities and areas that want to look at banning propane or natural gas. That's very bad. But here's the cool thing. Right now, you can still buy these things online. So you can look on Amazon, or you can look at any outdoor or outfitter store and buy a little Coleman propane stove. They can run off the little bottles, what we call lantern bottles, but it's not gonna last as long, or you can buy the bigger propane tanks. Now here's the key. Just like we were talking about wood, having a propane stove is awesome, but you gotta have propane as well. So not only buying the propane stove for 50 to 75 bucks or 100 bucks, or if you want the bigger one, you know, $200 or $300, that's a lot. So you can buy the little small ones, but you need to buy a few extra propane tanks. Now the reason I'm talking about this video in the middle of summer when no one wants to talk about heating anything is you can usually buy it cheaper right now. If you order your propane or you buy propane in the winter months, guess what? The price will be higher. So right now, while propane is not at its highest, let's go ahead and invest in some smaller tanks and put them up for safekeeping. You need to have the propane stove, 1 or 2 burner stove. Again, it allows you to have it in versatility, not as much heat as you're worried about food prep, and also water. Both of those things are key, especially making sure you're cooking thoroughly and of course purifying your water. But you can heat, you can utilize it, and those propane tanks can be used in more versatile ways when we talk about heating our homes as well. Look at a propane stove. These are not really expensive, and you can buy them based on your budget. From the smallest, 1 burner, 50 bucks, to some of the largest ones at a few $100s. But look at a propane stove. It'd be great to have, and start buying that propane now when it's pretty cheap. Number 3 is a grill. Now when I talk about a grill, I'm talking about a charcoal grill. I think that's even better because again, you can utilize wood in it if you ever had to. Any kind of charcoal biscuits or anything like that. That's what I'm really talking about. And you can usually pick up a charcoal grill for dirt cheap. You could buy the little small ones. Now we have built one over time, but to be honest with you, for years, we bought the little rolling, kind of like the traveler's version of a real grill, and we would utilize it because we would go camping, or we would go to this place or go to that place, and we could just roll it around with us, put it in the back of the truck, bam, a $20 or $30 or $40 grill can cook as much food as you wanted it to. And when it goes bad, you don't have to worry about trying to fix it. So you don't have to make a big investment in a grill. If you have a gas grill, that's okay. That propane is for that gas grill as well. But again, we need to think versatility. So we've got propane set for the stove. So let's look at maybe a charcoal grill, and let's make sure that we are putting up charcoal. That's one thing we've bought a lot of over time is hardwood charcoal biscuits. We have tons of bags of those. Now, do we have to have those? No, we have a forest right here. We can go and harvest and actually put the same wood in the grill as we put in the fireplace. But you have to be careful of that because of what kind of wood you're burning. If it's green, there's a lot more to that. So be careful if you're using wood right inside the grill, especially if it's green wood. So not saying you can't use it, but try to buy some just charcoal biscuits. You literally can buy some charcoal for 7 to 10 bucks. You can buy a grill for 30 or 40 bucks, or again, spend a few $100s if you want to go crazy. But what I'm saying is you can literally start buying a thing of charcoal every few weeks, every few months. Just buy a bag of charcoal, buy a little bag of lighter fluid, buy some matches. Having a way to cook outdoors is awesome. So now we're adding another layer of versatility when it comes to heating and cooking and purifying water. It just gives us another way to take care of our family. I'm literally sweating out here, so it's probably the worst time to talk about heating our home. But let's go to number 4. Number 4 is going to be a rocket stove. Now, a rocket stove is not something you need to use inside by any means, but it is something that can get you out of a bind. I have a bug out bag video, and we talk about our rocket stove. We've also done another video about outdoor cooking. Both of those options, a rocket stove is perfect for. A rocket stove, you can load it with literally just small twigs, small branches. You don't need the big logs like you do in the fireplace or even in the grill. You can utilize it by making sure that you can heat water, and again, you can cook your food and even have you a little makeshift fire pit right there in a very small area. You would be surprised how much heat and how much flame is put out in a rocket stove because the way it's built, and really it doesn't take a lot of wood at all, a few twigs. They also make some that has USB chargers on them where you literally could charge up your phone or charge up your flashlight. Another way of versatility and another way to look at having some more sustainable elements and ways to be redundant. They're so maneuverable. We keep one in our bug out supply. It actually breaks down into this little pouch that's about yay big. I will link that one below. And then also we have another bigger cast iron rocket stove that's still very versatile. It's a little bit heavier, but basically you can leave out the weather. It's not going to get hurt. So going back to that cast iron skillets and things like that we've talked about in Dutch ovens, having good quality things is even better. But I think I only had like 50 or 60 bucks in that. Not a lot of money at all, but you can actually use it for so many different things, and you're using less wood, less brush pile, less stuff, and it's very easy to light. The way it's built is perfect when it comes to heat, purification, and cooking. Number 5 is what I would consider almost like a canned heat. A lot of these things, let's think about like chafing dishes, and like when people cater dinners, or if they go to some kind of church function and they're heating up whatever's underneath, wedding functions, anything like that. You remember those little heaters like this under chafing dishes? Those are little canisters of basically of some kind of lighting fluid that allows you to light it, and it holds a flame for a long time. Now this is kind of the most basic, cheapest, easiest, most economical way to provide heat for something to cook or to warm up or to utilize to even start boiling water. It is a fire that you can light. It puts off hardly no smoke, hardly no smell, because it's used to being around food and it's used to being indoors. So if you're worried about being in an apartment, if you're worried about being in areas where, wow, I don't need to go outside and cook. Well, if we're not using our propane stove, if we're not using a fireplace, the other two options tend to be leaning towards, I've got to be outside, like the grill and the little rocket stove. So having these little candle heats, or these little compact little steel container heats, they almost look like little cans of chicken or tuna, it allows you to then buy a whole set of those for like 20 bucks. And it allows you to have hours and hours upon hours of just lighting, being able to utilize it, blow it out when you're not using it. You can put it literally under any kind of ironware, put a pot on it, and then you can heat things up. It is so very simple, and it almost becomes so simple that people don't believe me when I say we have some of this stocked up, but we do. And do I need it? Do I ever think I will ever use it? Because I have all these other elements of fire redundancy and making sure we have a heat or energy source being off grid if we ever needed it. No, but guess what? I preach redundancy, I prep redundancy, and I want to make sure I have it just in case. If I had to shoot away, I have it in my bug out supply, because there's sometimes if you're dealing with wet wood, you can't get it started, or you're in an area that doesn't have any kind of seasoned old wood laying around. This might be your only source to get you through an evening or a night, or maybe through a very tough time just to get some water boiling. So having that little canned heat, or having that little form of a little, it almost looks like a little candle in a little tuna can. I'm serious, it is really a game changer. Think of chafing dishes, think of weddings, and you see those little burners underneath. It's very, very good to have, and probably the most economic thing on this list. Now, as I'm literally sweating on this video talking about heating something up, it's hot. But I think right now is the time to buy some of this stuff, because when we talk about buying in the summer, when no one else is thinking about it, that's when it's the most important to stockpile it up, because when it becomes cool or cold or becomes a certain season, everybody wants to start buying grills. Everybody wants to start buying wood. Everybody wants to start picking those things up. You'd already have it. It's kind of like saying, you know, when a hurricane season comes here, I've already got a lot of things stockpiled up, but you would be surprised when hurricanes get in the Gulf of Mexico, heading towards Mississippi. Everybody panics and loses their mind like it sneaks up on them every year, and it doesn't. We know it's coming. We know winter's coming. We know the grid is struggling. So why don't we prepare and buy some of these, or build some of these, or have some of these on hand when it comes to heating, purifying, cooking, and taking care of our family in a sustainable way, in an off-grid version. Now, that concludes the 5 list, and I hope that you will check out the sponsor of this video, Mint Mobile. I have a link below to them. It's a great, great investment to look at, especially when we're trying to save money on your cell phone plans. Now, lastly, I want to mention, you need to look at alternative energy sources, and I mention solar generators and battery generators all the time. Having something like that as a bigger purchase would be great to have, because then it allows you to have an energy source in your home without having to go outdoors. If you're in the city, you're in an apartment, you're in a very bad area of town, the last thing I want you to do is worry about trying to light a rocket stove or light a grill right on your porch if it's very dangerous for you to be outside, especially not trying to make smoke either. So you may want to look at something like a solar generator, a battery bank, some other form of ways to have energy in your home without even having to go out your doors. So that was just a little bonus for the 5 list. Check these things out. I have every one of these, and I actually have a lot of every one of these. Why do I say that? Because I want you to see the importance of it, and that these little simple things could be worth their weight in gold when it comes to no grid, cold weather, or you're needing to purify water or heat something up. These could be game changers for you. Guys, thank you so much for watching. God bless. Happy homesteading, y'all.